Fraser was supposed to die. The entire season warned us it was coming, the battle finally arrived, and for one heartbreaking moment, it looked like fate had won. But then Outlander delivered one of the most emotional twists in the entire series. Claire didn't just save Jamie, she may have changed history itself. And hidden inside that ending was the answer to a mystery fans have been trying to solve since the very first episode. Jamie's ghost. The blue light. The forget-me-nots. Suddenly, everything connects. And once you notice the final clue near the stones, the entire love story becomes even more tragic and beautiful. After years of time travel, war, heartbreak, sacrifice, and impossible love, Outlander finally gave fans its final episode, and somehow, the ending managed to feel devastating, hopeful, mysterious, and emotional all at once. But beneath the tears and shocking moments, the finale quietly answered questions the series has been building toward since episode 1. Because Jamie's death was never just about losing him, it was about destiny, about whether love could defeat time itself. And what happened in those final moments may completely change how fans look at the entire story forever. From the very beginning of the season, the shadow of Jamie's death was hanging over everyone. Every conversation felt heavier, every goodbye sounded final, and the closer the battle came, the more obvious it became that Jamie himself believed this was the end. That's what made the build-up so painful to watch. He wasn't acting like a man preparing for victory. He was acting like a man putting his entire life in order before disappearing forever. The moment Jamie writes his will feels small at first, but it quietly becomes one of the saddest scenes in the finale. Giving Brianna nearly everything he owns shows how much trust and love he has for her. But leaving William his whiskey and Bible feels deeply personal, almost like Jamie is trying to leave behind pieces of himself for the son he never truly got to have. And that changes everything emotionally because Jamie understands there may never be another chance to say what he really feels. Then the battle finally arrives, and for a brief moment it feels like fate has been defeated. Jamie survives. After an entire season of warnings and fear, he actually survives the fight everyone believed would kill him. You can see the relief on his face. For the first time in what feels like forever, he looks free. Like he escaped destiny itself. But Outlander was never going to make it that easy. Just as Jamie allows himself to believe he won, General Ferguson shoots him. And the scene becomes absolutely devastating because there's no dramatic build-up anymore, no heroic speech, no final warning. Death arrives suddenly and brutally. That shock is exactly what makes it hurt so much. What makes the moment even more emotional is Claire feeling Jamie's pain instantly. Earlier in the season, she explained that they're tied together by heart, and the finale proves that connection was completely real. The second Jamie falls, Claire already knows. She doesn't need someone to tell her. She feels him slipping away. And when Claire runs up that hill and finds Jamie lying there lifeless, the entire tone of the episode changes. Suddenly, this doesn't feel like a fantasy series anymore. It feels painfully human. Claire's grief feels raw and uncontrollable. The way she refuses to let go of him, the desperation in her face, the disbelief in her voice. It becomes one of the most heartbreaking scenes the show has ever done. But then, everything changed. Because the finale refuses to leave viewers inside total despair. Instead, it slowly begins building toward something impossible. Claire staying beside Jamie through the night becomes incredibly important because unlike the baby she revived earlier in the season, Jamie doesn't return immediately. Hours pass. Nothing happens. And that delay makes the resurrection feel far more dangerous and emotional. Claire isn't just healing him, she's fighting destiny itself. That may be the biggest clue in the entire finale. Jamie was meant to die at that moment in history. Bringing him back wasn't natural anymore. It wasn't simply medicine or skill. Claire was trying to rewrite fate. And the price for doing that becomes visible by the end of the episode when her hair turns completely white. That transformation feels symbolic more than anything else. Earlier in the series, the Cherokee woman hinted Claire had powers she didn't fully understand yet. Now, in the finale, Claire finally reaches her full potential. Not because she suddenly becomes magical, but because her love for Jamie pushes her beyond human limits. And that's why the resurrection scene works so beautifully emotionally. The show never treats it like fantasy spectacle. It treats it like sacrifice. Claire gives everything she has to pull Jamie back from death. Her strength, her energy, maybe even years of her own life. Then finally, Jamie opens his eyes. And hearing him breathe again after all that silence feels almost unreal. The reason this moment hits so hard is because the show spent the entire season convincing viewers they were about to lose him forever. So when Jamie comes back, it doesn't just feel like survival, it feels like love defeating death itself. But as emotional as Jamie's resurrection was, the real mystery of the finale begins afterward. Because hidden inside those final scenes was the answer fans have been waiting years to understand. Jamie's ghost. Ever since the first episode of Outlander, fans have debated the meaning of the ghost watching Claire outside the window in Inverness. Was it really Jamie? How could he appear there before Claire even traveled through time? And why did he look young? The finale finally connects all those questions together in a way that feels incredibly satisfying. Before Jamie dies, he tells Claire something that suddenly carries massive meaning. He says he'll grin and abide his time in purgatory until she manages. At first, it sounds romantic and tragic, but after the ending, those words feel literal. Jamie already understands on some level that their connection goes beyond time and beyond death itself. Then we see the ghost again. And one detail changes everything. Jamie appears young. If this ghost had come from the older Jamie who died at King's Mountain, he would have looked older too. But he doesn't. Instead, he looks exactly like the Jamie from years earlier. That means the finale is quietly revealing something huge. We are not watching a new ghost scene. We are witnessing the exact moment Jamie's spirit first wandered through time. That revelation completely recontextualizes the pilot episode. For years, viewers believed the ghost scene was simply mysterious setup, but now it feels tragic. Jamie's spirit wasn't randomly appearing there. He was searching for Claire, waiting for her, watching over her long before she understood who he was. And then the episode gives us the scene that may secretly be the emotional core of the entire series. Jamie visits the stones. As he touches them, forget-me-nots begin to bloom beside Craig na Dun. At first glance, it seems beautiful and symbolic, but once you connect it to episode 1, it becomes devastatingly emotional. Those flowers were the reason Claire approached the stones in the first place. Without them, she may never have traveled through time. She may never have met Jamie. Their entire love story may never have happened, which means Jamie himself may have guided Claire toward him from beyond death. That changes everything about their relationship because it suggests their story was always connected in a loop. Jamie loses Claire, waits for her, then helps lead her back to him. It's romantic, heartbreaking, and haunting all at once, and there was one detail nobody noticed at first. Earlier in the finale, before heading to battle, Jamie asks Claire to remember him. That line suddenly gains much deeper meaning after the flowers appear. Forget-me-nots are no longer just flowers. They become Jamie's final promise to Claire, a symbol that even death could never erase what they had together. The finale quietly suggests that Jamie understood Claire better than anyone ever could. He knew her love for nature. He knew her fascination with plants. He knew those flowers would catch her attention. So even in death, Jamie found a way to bring Claire home to him. That may honestly be the most beautiful revelation in the entire ending. Because Outlander was never really about time travel. It was always about two people refusing to lose each other no matter what history, war, or death tried to do to them. But despite all the emotional payoff, the finale still leaves behind a few mysteries that feel intentionally unresolved. And honestly, that may not be an accident. The first big question surrounds Fanny. Earlier in the episode, Fanny hears the strange buzzing sound connected to time travel, and the moment immediately feels important. The series clearly wants viewers to notice it. But then, nothing fully happens afterward. The storyline is left hanging in a way that almost feels deliberate. That opens up a fascinating possibility. Could Fanny also have the ability to travel through time? If so, the finale may have quietly introduced the next generation of Outlander's mythology without directly confirming it. And considering how much focus the series placed on bloodlines, inherited abilities, and destiny throughout Season 8, the idea honestly makes a lot of sense. What happened next may actually connect to the future of the franchise itself, because another unresolved mystery involves Claire's parents. Throughout the season, Claire repeatedly mentions them, almost as if the writers were preparing for a larger reveal. Yet the finale never fully explains the truth about what happened to them. At first, that feels frustrating, but when you step back and look at the bigger picture, it starts to feel more like setup than unfinished storytelling. There's a strong chance these unanswered questions could continue in Outlander, blood of my blood, and honestly, that would make perfect sense. The finale of Outlander feels designed to close Jamie and Claire's emotional journey while still leaving the world itself alive. Instead of answering every single mystery, the show leaves certain doors slightly open. Not enough to ruin the ending, but enough to make fans continue theorizing long after the credits roll. That's actually one of the smartest things the series could have done, because endings are difficult, especially for a story this beloved. If the finale tried explaining every mystery, it could have easily become overcrowded and emotionally messy. Instead, the show keeps its focus where it matters most: Jamie and Claire. And because of that choice, the emotional impact lands perfectly. By the end, Jamie is alive again. Claire survives the impossible. The ghost mystery is finally solved, and the forget-me-nots transform into one of the most meaningful symbols in the entire series. But there's still this bittersweet feeling underneath everything, because no matter how hopeful the ending becomes, viewers still know this is goodbye. For years, fans watched Jamie and Claire survive wars, separation, betrayal, time travel, and death itself. And somehow, through all of it, they kept finding their way back to each other. That's why the finale feels so emotional. Not because the story ends, but because it reminds us how rare their love really was. A love so strong it crossed centuries. A love so powerful it rewrote fate. And a love that may have started because one man, standing beside ancient stones, refused to let the woman he loved forget him. Looking back now, the genius of the finale is how everything circles back to the beginning: the stones, the flowers, the ghost. Claire's first journey through time. Suddenly, moments that once felt mysterious now feel deeply intentional. And honestly, that final image of Jamie smiling may be one of the most important shots in the entire series. Because for once, Jamie isn't fighting. He isn't running toward war or sacrifice or heartbreak. He's simply watching Claire with peace in his eyes, almost like he already knows their story will survive everything. That's what makes the ending hit so differently emotionally. It tells us that time was never their enemy. Time was the thing constantly trying to reunite them. Even Jamie's ghost no longer feels tragic after the finale. Instead, it feels hopeful. His spirit waited because some part of him believed Claire would always find her way back. And somehow, against every impossible obstacle, she always did. But there's another layer hidden underneath all this. Claire resurrecting Jamie may have permanently changed her too. Her white hair doesn't just symbolize exhaustion, it feels like transformation. Like Claire crossed a line no ordinary person was ever supposed to cross. The finale strongly hints she reached the absolute limit of her abilities, possibly even surpassing anything we've seen from time travelers before. And if that's true, then Claire may now be more connected to time itself than ever before. That possibility becomes even more interesting when you think about the blue light. The finale never fully explains it, which feels intentional. Instead, the show treats it almost spiritually, as if love, memory, and time are all connected through forces humans can barely understand. That mystery keeps the ending alive in viewers' minds long after the episode finishes, because everyone will interpret it differently. Some fans will see Jamie's resurrection as destiny being rewritten. Others will see it as Claire unlocking her final power, and some will believe their love itself became powerful enough to break the rules of time. And honestly, maybe all three are true. That's why the finale works so well emotionally. It gives answers, but it also leaves room for wonder. It closes the story without making the world feel empty. Even the forget-me-nots become more heartbreaking the more you think about them. Jamie didn't leave behind riches or power or monuments. He left flowers, something fragile, something easy to miss. But those tiny flowers changed history forever because they led Claire directly toward the stones, toward him. And suddenly, the entire series becomes one giant love letter hidden across time. Not just a romance, not just a fantasy, but the story of two souls who kept choosing each other over and over again, no matter how impossible it became. The ending of Outlander may have closed Jamie and Claire's journey, but it also opened some of the biggest mysteries the franchise has ever had. Did Claire truly rewrite destiny? Was Jamie's ghost always guiding her through time? And could Fanny become the next major traveler in the Outlander universe? One thing is certain. After that finale, those forget-me-nots will never feel the same again. So, what did you think about the ending? Did the finale completely satisfy you? Or do you still believe there are secrets hiding inside those final scenes?